Hello and welcome once more to this Red Gaming Tech video, myself, Marta, where I am here, as always, with the latest news from the tech world in the last 24 or so hours. We've got quite a bit of AMD news to get through this fine evening, and we're going to start things off with a benchmark for the RX 5700 XT. So, this benchmark has come to us thanks to a tweet from the Twitter user Spartan Geek TV, and as you can quite plainly see, we see some very interesting results of this particular, contest between the two graphics cards. Now, I'm going to obviously go through some of the results in particular, but overall what we can see is a roughly 6% on average faster performance from the RX 5700 XT versus the RTX 2070. So, we do see it be fairly close on quite a few games. For example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is quite close, and we do see a slight victory for the 2017 games such as Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Civilization 6, and we do see a slight victory on games like The Witcher 3 and The Division 2, and games like Metro Exodus and Battlefield 5, as well as Black Ops 4, we do see a significant victory for the RX, should I say, 5700 XT. Now, interestingly, one thing that's worth mentioning is that they did not use the game Strange Brigade. Now, Paul has mentioned this a few times, so you're probably familiar with what I'm about to say. That game does heavily favour AMD, and they did use it quite a bit during their Computex conference, so they probably made a conscious decision to actually avoid using that benchmark here. Now, another thing we also learned alongside this is that we basically got a confirmation that that leaked PCB that we saw a while back is actually accurate, because there's two 8-pin power connectors, which is pretty much what we saw in that leaked PCB. Oh, and do watch Paul's video yesterday if you want a really detailed breakdown of the technical specifications of what is going on with the RX 5700 XT. But I'll give you a quick TLDR. We see 2560 stream processors, 8 gigs of GDDR6 memory on a 256-bit bus, PCI 4 of course, and 1905 MHz for boost, and 9.75 T-flops. Again, Paul did do a really nice analysis just yesterday, and also there was some leaked specs for the Ryzen 9 3950X, so go check that out if you haven't already. You will find a link in the description below this video. So next up, we have another benchmark to discuss, this time for the Ryzen 3600. And this is none other than a Geekbench benchmark on a Gigabyte X570 motherboard. So, as you can quite plainly see, we see a single core score of 5599 and a multi-core score of 29090. And if you scroll down, you will see the base and max frequency, as of course the Matisse codename, as you would be very surprised not to see. Now, the real question that is, pardon me for my voice cracking slightly there, the real question that is on your mind, I'm sure, is how does this favour against Intel? AMD have really stepped up their game when it comes to Ryzen, really challenging Intel hard in this particular space, and doing quite a good job of it, I will say so myself. So, against the 8700K, it is actually faster when you talk about multi-threading, and is the same speed in single-thread performance. Now, again, that is versus the 8700K, but still not too shabby at all. Now, I feel like it's just worth highlighting again that it is the same in the single-core performance, because obviously there is a bit of a reputation that Intel is generally better for the single thread performance versus Ryzen, whereas Ryzen is better for multi-thread, and we see a victory multi-thread and a toe-to-toe performance when it comes to that all-important single thread performance. And just to reiterate, this is for the Ryzen 3600, this isn't for one of the flagships, this is for the 3600, still high-end of course, still not exactly going to be going for the price of some money found down the back of the sofa, but is not the high-end flagship by any means. So safe to say the Ryzen 3000 generation is going to be one to watch, and I think the war is most definitely on between Intel and AMD. Next up is a bit of a strange one. from Nvidia. So undoubtedly many of you, including myself and of course Paul, watched Microsoft's E3 2019 conference last night, and I must say, not to go too off topic, it was actually really good. Some really nice announcements. The FromSoft game, sign me up. But I'm not here to talk about that. As much as I would love to just gush about the new games coming out in Cyberpunk 2077, I'm here to talk about Nvidia, GeForce, Twitter, and yeah, a little bit uncool from them on this one. The tweet is fairly innocuous. I'm not going to say it's like throwing down the gauntlet or anything rude, but they said, what was your favourite announcement of the hashtag Xbox E3 conference as a PC gamer? Let us know what game and why for a chance to win some amazing prizes, blah blah blah. And then has the Xbox branding with hashtag RTX on. Now you might go, okay, so what is your issue with this then? Well, a couple of them actually. As we well know, they're nothing to do with Xbox. Xbox uses AMD and is going to continue to use AMD for whatever the Xbox Scarlet ends up being called. And not only that, while we do know, of course, that we're going to be seeing ray tracing in the next generation Xbox console, it is not RTX. It uses DXR, which is ray tracing, but it's very different to Nvidia's branded RTX method of ray tracing. So yeah, they're just kind of hijacking Microsoft here a little bit, because again, then there's literally nothing to do with them, and it's not even their type of ray tracing that the Xbox Scarlet is going to use. So it's just a little bit uncool, I guess, is all I'm trying to say. And it's not like, oh my god, the worst thing ever, but you know, let's call a spade here and just be like, that's a little bit cool there, Nvidia. But yeah, I think someone in some marketing department somewhere is probably going to get us more than a slap on the wrist for this, because the image directly implies that the next-gen Xbox contains Nvidia technology either in the hardware or in the ray tracing, and in both cases that's just not true. So we'll see. The tweet is still up at the time of recording, so maybe nothing will happen, but definitely, really? I guess is my reaction. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated. I will see you next time.